Are you looking to get started racing on Zwift? Or maybe you're already racing and are looking to step it up or play the game of Zwift a bit more effectively. Because let's remember, it is a game at its core. No matter what you're looking for out of Zwift and racing, we're kicking off Zwiftips by diving into a multi-part mini-series. From picking your event, getting prepped for the race, and then gunning for the win. Different types of races bring different types of strategy needed to win. Hilly or Mountainous stages can be a bear to plan for and even harder to race. So what's in today's episode? We'll cover the best way to handle a hilly or mountainous race once you've settled in from the start all the way through to the finish. Let's jump in and see how you do. Jumping into the first topic, moving to the front for the hills. When you're already suffering, this might sound counterintuitive, but you want to try to be as close to the front as possible when coming up on a hill in a race. You don't want to sprint or push too much power to get there, but the best plan is to try to be in the top 5 of the pack when you come up to the early slopes of a hill. But hey, if you're sitting in the top 5 to 10 of the pack, like we mentioned in the last video, this won't be a problem, right? Why you want to do this is simple. It prepares you to respond to any change in pace at the front of the group, and when that happens, you won't be stuck pushing through a sea of riders or responding to the elastic band effect of the group. All of this helps save energy. Not feeling too strong? Well, that will lead you into the next tip and why you want to be at the front. Moving on to the second tip. Slide on hills if need be. Let's say you got yourself to the front of the group right at the base of a climb, and as the road goes up, you start feeling weak and are having trouble holding the pace of the group. This is another reason to start near the front. This allows you to slide through the bunch as the race continues up the inclines. The hope here is that if you can hold your pace just enough over the duration of the climb, and the group is large enough, you will, at worst, be at the back of the group as you get over the top, allowing you to catch the final rider's drafts to get back into the group as they bunch up on the descent or into the next flat. Worst comes to worst, you will lose less time or places than if you had started at the back of the bunch to begin with. Jumping into the third tip. Watch for struggling riders or possible gaps. If things aren't going your way and you find yourself at the back of the group at any point in the climb, don't panic, stay attentive. You're most likely not the only person suffering and hanging near the back of the group. What this means is that you'll want to watch for people getting gapped off the back of the group, as you will either have to up the pace to get around them before they pull you off the back with them, or you'll most likely be dragged out of the draft of the group with them as they fade. Either of these are good options, obviously. That said, you'll want to try to preemptively get ahead of any riders who look like they're struggling. You can tell this by watching the power on the right-hand side and watching for any dip. And try to get back into the safety of the bunch if you have the power to do so. Basically, you'll always be working harder if you get stuck at the back of the bunch. On to the fourth tip. Find your own pace. Above all else, in a climbing race, know what you're capable of and set your pace at something you know you can keep. While you may want to stay with the front pack, if you're suffering, you'll have to decide which is more important in the situation. Staying with the pack and possibly blowing up and losing the front for good, or letting yourself slide a bit and likely ending up falling out of the pack. But more importantly, being able to work your way into a second group on the road that might eventually work its way back. Regardless, finding your own pace will help you in the long run. But if you're looking to improve your fitness overall and not just race results, you might find yourself wanting to push to the limit in order to look for gains down the road. Both are viable options, it's just a matter of understanding what you're looking for. Results today or results later. How do you know what pace to keep on a climb? It's a bit of trial and error as you learn yourself, your power and what you're capable of. Getting to know your limits and how to pace out your effort will come in time. And on to the fifth and final topic. Time your final effort. If you've made it to the finish of the race and are wanting to plan for either the win or getting the best finishing place you can, here's where things are very different from a flat race. If you've gotten to do a lap of the finish prior, you'll know what you're up against. But even if you haven't, remember that a finish on roads that aren't flat are much more taxing than those that are. With that in mind, try to ride the wheels of the group you're in as long as possible. Chances are the pace will slow just a bit right before it ramps up to its highest point, leading into the finish. Don't get caught out by this lull and be prepared for the first person to break the truce. When the attacks start coming, don't respond to everything unless you feel strong. 1 kilometer uphill is vastly different distance than 1 kilometer flat. Try to follow wheels and let others do the work until you feel you can make one solid punch to the line. You won't want to fade too soon, or else others will use your attack and power to launch their own. This is a complex balance to get right, and until you learn what you're capable of, Hilly or Mountainous races are a beast in their own right. And that's it. You're ready to go to the next video in the series. There's so many facets to Zwift racing, and this is just a step in the process. Make sure to check out the next video, and hopefully I'll be able to keep shedding light on new parts of Zwift that you didn't know about. For now, my name's Generally Lost, and if you want to ask questions live or watch me race with my own advice, which is always sure to fail, make sure to check me out on Twitter or Twitch. I stream 3 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain, and Saturday mornings at